What is up, y'all? Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us. We, of course, are the Alternates. I am your host, Brian Cullen, and with me is everyone's favorite indefensible player of the year,
what
Clayton
Marcus
Stevens.
Smart?
I had to throw it out there because you throw shade at my guy. We've got a really great show lined up for you today. Super excited to get into it. Before we do, want to take a quick second, ask you all to subscribe to the show on YouTube, subscribe wherever you get your podcast. Go ahead, like that video. If you feel daring, leave us a comment. If you feel brave, drop us a rating and review. And most importantly, share the show so that other people just like you can find us and we can continue to build this thing. Help us out with the algorithms here. If you want to get a hold of us, you can do so by emailing us, thealternateshoop@gmail.com, and go ahead, open up your phone, click on the TikTok app. Don't get distracted. I know the videos are great, but go ahead, look us up, give us a follow on TikTok @thealternatesNBA. Stop scrolling, look it up now. Clayton, my friend, how the hell are you?
I'm great. We are in full swing of the second round here. We're coming to a close, it feels like, on some of these series, but I'm invested. I got to admit, you know, it's some of these games have been a bit of a dud, but the storylines continue.
Yeah, definitely.
How are you doing? How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing good. I'll be honest, this is something I've been very open with in my life, online, and other places. My struggles with anxiety and stress. I was having a rough morning this morning, I won't lie. Just my anxiety was kind of ramped up. I was just feeling off.
Yeah.
And I was driving here. We do this early in the morning. I hit that, morning rush hour traffic. It was ramping up the anxiety even more. And at one of the red lights, I stopped and I looked at my rearview mirror and I saw a dude behind me having an absolute meltdown in his car. And it made me feel like, hey, I'm doing okay. I'm doing all right. Yeah.
Yes.
So I hope that guy has a better day. I hope that he's doing okay. But I do appreciate the perspective that it provided me. I'm not happy that he was having a meltdown, but the glass half full is that it made me feel better about where I was in my day.
Well, maybe he drove and saw someone else having an even worse meltdown.
Yeah.
And then
Pay it forward, people.
Right? So if you're having a meltdown, have it in public. Somebody else will feel better.
Is it pay it backwards at that point?
Yeah, pay it backwards.
Pay
exactly.
it backwards,
Yeah. Meltdown so that somebody else can feel better.
Yeah, if you see somebody that looks like they're stressing, just completely lose your shit in your car and it'll help them out.
Wonderful. Wonderful words to start our show.
Well, let's get into it. Let's get into headliners here. So we've had each series play a game since the last time we recorded. Let's start with Phoenix, who blows out the Dallas Mavericks 110-80.
Ooh.
And they take the 3-2 series lead. Then we go to Miami here, where they have an even bigger blowout. A little bit of a theme here today against the Sixers, 120-85. And they lead the series now 3-2.
That's an AAU score.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's just keep the blowout train going with the Warriors and Grizzlies. The Grizzlies in the grindhouse without Ja beat the Warriors 134-95. The series is now 3-2. It was 3-1, so Memphis gets a little bit closer to making this a bit interesting. Wow is all I have to say about that.
That's an ugly score. That's an ugly score.
And that does not show what the game was. It was like a 50-point game at one point. And then finally, let's get off the train here, where we've got the Bucks in the Garden. In the fucking Garden, kid. Win an absolute nail-biter. It's funny. This was the blowout series, and It is now the nail biter, and they beat Boston 110-107, and they grabbed the 3-2 advantage in the series.
Yep.
You know what we're doing now. We're picking a stud, we're picking a dud, and we're gonna open the flood. Let's start with the stud. I'm not even going to ask you because I think it's very obvious. I think everybody watching this is yelling it at their phone screens, their computers, the movie theater that they rented out to watch this episode.
Yeah.
It's Bucks Celtics.
Yeah.
Stud all the way.
What'd you see in this game?
So I saw a couple things. On the Boston side, rough start for Marcus Smart. Rough first half for Marcus Smart. Couldn't really get much going.
Tragic.
He really, I'm sure you were devastated. He really struggled in that first half.
Yeah.
One of the main things that stood out to me was Boston as a team only attempted 15 free throws in this game. And it was split between two players. Obviously, their two best players in Tatum and Brown. Tatum with 9, Brown with 6.
So not one other player attempted,
Not
not
a
one
single
free throw.
player, not a single player outside of those two got to the line in this game.
That's an amazing one. I didn't notice that. That's incredible.
Yeah, absolutely wild. And then I've been doing this thing, unintentionally has become kind of a running thing here where I like to give out a bouquet to somebody. I've got a big ass bouquet of flowers for Al Horford.
Ooh.
He was incredible.
He's been good.
And not
He's
just
been
this
good.
game, the
Yeah.
last few games he's earned these flowers here. But in this game, he put up 8 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 block, and 3 steals. He's been so
Filling
good
it
for
up.
Boston.
Yeah, filling
He's
it
turning
up.
back the hands of time. I don't know what he's drinking, but please give me a gallon of it. He looks incredible. I thought his eyes were beautiful. Turns out his playoff game is beautiful because he
Beautiful.
is doing everything and more that you would want from Al Horford at this point in his career. Now on the Bucks side, if we go to look at Milwaukee, 40 points from Giannis.
That's his baseline.
It
As
is.
we've been
This is
saying,
just-
it's the
yeah.
baseline. It's just 40.
If it's not 40, it's disgusting.
Yeah.
At
It's
this
just,
point.
he just wakes up and has 40 in the playoffs.
Yeah,
That's just
unreal.
That's Giannis.
And then Bobby motherfucking Portis.
The RoboCop glasses. I'm loving it.
The tip in for the lead off of a missed free throw was unreal. He came off the bench and he put up 14 points, nice, and 15 rebounds.
Fucking owning the glass.
Unreal. Unreal performance
Yep.
from Bobby Portis. And then at the end here, Drew Holiday.
Go on.
Drew Holiday, he's been good, obviously, all series. Defensively, he's been great. The dude, in the last 5 minutes of this game, so many clutch defensive possessions. The block, the steal at the end. He was unreal.
Yeah, he was unreal. Obviously, we got to start with Drew Holiday here, UCLA's finest. No, I mean he was absolutely incredible, and it's funny because you look at the box score from this game, and I feel like the box score doesn't tell you the whole story here, especially when you're looking at Drew Holiday, who was inefficient from the field. He goes 9 of 24 from the field. Looks ugly, but hit some really clutch shots.
And got to the line, too.
And got to the line and did what he needed to do. And then obviously when it mattered most, when they needed him most, he came through with the unbelievable weak side block on Marcus Smart, who, I mean, I loved that. I loved that.
I'm sure you did.
I mean, just showing why he's still the most underrated defender in the NBA. Like, we say it all the time. It's said all the time. But then every game, it feels like we forget, holy shit, Drew Holiday is the best. And then, of course, the end of the game, it's going to be an iconic play forever now, especially if the Bucks move forward. It's like coming down to the wire, and then Drew Holiday just takes the ball from Marcus Smart.
It was so effortless for him.
It was so effortless.
He just put a hand out and pushed it into the backcourt and grabbed it.
And then to do the awesome, like, badass just dribble to the other side, not put a shot up, and walk directly to the bench, like, thank you, I just ended the game, no problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was
I will
amazing.
say, I got to, because yes, Marcus Smart, he was the victim of that play.
Yes.
Both those plays. And I did say he had a rough start. I think Marcus Smart in the fourth quarter was so good for Boston. I think that we have to
No,
acknowledge
yeah,
that.
you're right. No, I like to give him shit, but he was actually pretty awesome. In this
He had
game.
that baseline play. They're battling for the loose ball. It's gone out of bounds. He jumps up and he had the presence of mind in that second to throw it at Drew Holiday to get the ball back into Boston's possession. It was those little plays. That's why I love Marcus Smart is he is one of those guys that will just dirty it up and do all of those little things. So I got to give him respect there. But yeah, incredible second half from Boston here.
We saw in the finals
from Milwaukee. Let me ask you this, because they obviously have the series lead. They're going back home. Time Lord not in this game.
Mm-hmm.
The Celtics said that they were being overly cautious by holding him out. It sounded like maybe he could have gone, but they didn't want to risk anything. If he's available in this next game, having that defense on the floor, because really the Bucks won this in the second half of the fourth quarter, not even just the last few minutes of the fourth quarter with a little offensive run there. If you have his defense and his rebounding on the floor, does it give Boston a chance, even in Milwaukee, to push this thing to 7?
I think it does, because before I talk about him, I think it needs to be said that you watch Boston now, and when Grant Williams isn't going like he was early in this series or he was early in these playoffs, he goes 0 for 3 from the field, didn't make a shot, had no points in this game. You look kind of up and down their roster. There's not a lot of guys who can do a lot offensively.
Yeah.
Right? Like they can shoot a little bit, or they can play off roles of their two main guys, but they're not guys who can do a lot off the dribble, do stuff like that. But despite that, they almost won this game.
Yeah.
And they've been in this series and they're playing well with the Bucks. And like you said, Bobby Portis had 15 rebounds in this game. The Celtics were out rebounded by, I think, 13 rebounds in this game. So yeah, an extra possession here, an extra possession there. You never know, right? This game could have gone a totally different way. So yes, I think Robert Williams' loss is huge for them right now. But I also think the Bucks took this game over with their experience.
Yeah,
we've
sure.
seen Drew Holiday. I was
For
going to say, we've seen Drew Holiday do this in the finals. He loves to come through in these big moments. He did it again. So credit to them more than taking away from the Celtics, I think.
Absolutely. Okay, let's pick a dud here. I'll pick the dud. It's Suns Mavs.
Yep.
It's Suns. Look, I'll go in a little bit here on the Mavs. They can't rebound. They could not rebound in this game. Dinwiddie, I'm out on Dinwiddie. I am completely out on Dinwiddie. He did not help his team at all. His shot selection was awful. He was just dribbling into defenses and putting up these awful contested shots. It just looked bad. He was only looking for his own points, and it was driving me absolutely crazy. Dorian Finney-Smith needs more touches. He did not shoot the ball enough. For a guy that has been so good for this team and that has done so much in this series, he needs to get more looks. You need to keep that defense moving from Phoenix. And yeah, I mean, the glass is the biggest issue for me. They have one of the best small ball lineups in the NBA. Their 5-out lineup destroyed Utah. It's done a lot against Phoenix here in this series. I think Monty Williams figured it out. I think he figured out, okay, if they're going to do that, we are going to dominate the glass. We are going to grab every rebound and keep them from any kind of adding opportunities to this lineup.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. When you look at the Phoenix side of this, I thought that they did a really good job with, like you're saying, Ayton, I think, might be the NBA's best small ball killer right now.
Yeah.
We saw them do this versus the Clippers last year when the Clippers were having a little success versus them. Monty empowered Ayton to own the glass, own these the matchups that they're putting on you. You're bigger, stronger than them. You're more skilled. He did a great job. And in fact, Monty even went to some really jumbo lineups at times where it was Ayton and JaVale McGee on the floor.
Wild.
And they were owning the glass, like you're saying. It's been the story of role players this whole series, right? Like at home, the role players have played well on each team. Tonight, Dallas's role players last night, the Dallas's role players were really, really rough. And the Suns role players played really well. Cam Johnson had a better game like we were asking for. Overall, they played better, but Dallas is going to need to get more, like you said, out of Dorian Finney-Smith, out of all of these guys. And they're going to have to find a way to do something about DeAndre Ayton, because if he plays this way, it's over for
Yeah.
Dallas.
Yeah, I completely agree. And it's going to be tough for them in this next game because Phoenix got a lot of rest. Nobody played more than 35 minutes for Phoenix.
Yeah.
They are going to go into this next game very well rested. So it'll be super interesting, but I definitely think momentum is on the side of Phoenix.
Yep.
Okay. Last one. Where are the floodgates opening today?
Obviously, we've got a couple choices
Yeah.
here, but I got to talk about Heat Sixers.
Let's do
My
it.
God, the 76ers. I cannot figure this team out. I got to say it plainly, they looked like shit. They
Yeah.
played like shit. There was just no effort, no team spirit, which I know it's like something that just sounds lame to talk about, but they just, they don't seem like they have any fun playing together. It just seems like there's no spirit or vibe. Their only good vibe is Maxey. And this was a really tough game for Maxey.
Yeah.
He had a tough game from the floor. And just overall, like, you look up and down the Sixers box score, I can't find one player who had a positive game, a positive impact on this game. And I actually didn't think the Heat played a particularly good game either.
Yeah, no, I agree. Look, okay. Floodgates are open here. Let me go in a little bit here. For Philly, it comes down to their two stars. Embiid, he came back with a mask and looked great. In this game, he looked completely out of the game. He just looked upset the entire time. He looked tired. He kept kind of rubbing his face and just like it was just so like blah the entire time. James Harden, extremely passive.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's funny because we just talked about in the last series, it comes down to your role players, right? In this one, it comes down to your stars. I think your role players can step up and help out a lot and do so much. But when the two best guys on the guys on your team are setting that example and that is the vibe that they're giving out, it is so hard for the rest of the team.
The vibes are low, man.
Yeah,
the vibes are low.
And it starts with those two guys.
Yeah.
And they were awful. It's okay if you have a rough scoring night or you have an off night, but you got to give the consistent effort, and they weren't doing that. There were only two guys. If you want to look for the positive, you brought up one in Maxey. The other one for me was Tobias Harris. Those are the only two guys I saw giving consistent effort in this game and trying on every possession that they were on there. Maxey had a rough shooting night, but at least he was giving it his all.
Yeah.
If you're not getting that from the two leaders of your team, you cannot, it's not fair to ask these other two role players to try to pick up the rest of it. And those two guys, Maxey and Tobias Harris, they combined for 24 points. Harden and Embiid combined for 25. That's unacceptable.
Yeah.
That's absolutely unacceptable. And yeah, you're right. I think it does come down to Philly. They looked like shit, and I really think Philly beat themselves because you hit the nail on the head. The Heat doesn't look good. They haven't really looked great in this series, and it's an over-reliance on Jimmy Butler. Anytime he sits, they take a huge step back as a team on the floor. You can't play him every minute of the game. And if you do, we know how that ends. We saw it in the finals in the bubble where he just completely runs out of gas. You cannot expect one person to carry a team that way. And he's clearly their best player, but everyone else, it's funny. It's almost the opposite, right? Heat role players need to step up. Philly's stars need to step up. They have completely different, but I don't care. Whoever comes out of this isn't winning. I've got no faith in either of these teams getting out of the next round.
I agree with you. And yes, it is an over-reliance on Jimmy Butler at times for the Heat. But to me, the more concerning thing is the over-reliance on Max Strus and Gabe Vincent. And if you told Eric Spoelstra at the beginning of the season that you're going to be relying on Max Strus to be your second best offensive player
in the semifinals,
I think he would have a heart attack. He would not know what to say. I mean, they got Duncan Robinson in this game. He made a shot. We'll see. Maybe that can be something moving forward. Why can't they win a game with Kyle Lowry, by the way? Like, what's going on with that? I mean, again, like, I leave this game with more questions about the Heat despite blowing out the 76ers in this game. I just leave thinking, I don't really think they have much of a chance versus Boston or Milwaukee. But, you know, I don't know. The Heat have a way of sticking around at times, and maybe they're just matching the 76ers energy at times. I don't know, but I'm kind of with you. I'm kind of out on the Heat. I'm surprised to hear myself say it. I like their roster, but
No, it hasn't been convincing.
Just has not been convincing.
All right, before we get out of headliners, I got to ask you, because you did say you had a couple options here for Fled. Did you not pick the Grizzlies and Warriors game just because it was a 3-1 lead? It's 3-2 now, but really it's a 3-1 series. And did you just see a team that had that kind of lead in a series take their foot off the gas a little bit and get caught?
Yes. I mean, it seemed like they were, away. Memphis hit some threes early on, and it just seemed like spiritually the Warriors were just like, yeah, I don't really feel like fighting that hard. I'd rather just go home.
Not tonight.
Not tonight. Really bad effort from them. Really bad effort. But I'm not going to overreact. They have to win one game out of 3.
Yeah.
They're going back home. I expect them to take care of business at home.
Is the Sacramento Kings brass shitting their pants a little bit after seeing Mike Brown's?
I think Vivek was like, oh, shit. Oh, no.
We've done it again.
We've done it again.
Okay, well, let's get out of headliners. Let's get into 3-pack. Let's have a little bit of fun here.
Let's do it.
So I picked the 3-pack this week. I've done something similar to this before, a little different than our normal 3-pack variation here. We're going to do another round of nickname 3-pack based off of players' nicknames on Basketball Reference, which is one of my favorite things to look at. So I've got 3. Here's the thing. They're all based off of players that are playing right now in the playoffs.
Okay.
And all 3 of these players are coming off the bench for their team.
Ah.
So I'll start with that.
Okay.
All right. Nickname number 1, the Minivan. This one is coming out of the Miami Philly series. I'll give you some hints here.
Mm-hmm.
He's a 6-year player, currently playing on his 3rd team in the NBA. He was a 2nd-round pick, 50th overall by the Pacers. He's playing 16 minutes a game off the bench for his team. He was born in Lawrence, Massachusetts, and also has the nickname the Closer.
Oh.
He got this nickname from his teammates. This one might give it away here. From his teammates in Utah for his slow pace of play. That's why they call him the Minivan. Do you have any idea who this might be?
I think I do know who this is. Is this George Niang?
George Niang.
Wow.
Yeah. George Niang is the Minivan.
The Closer. that one really got me more.
That one is interesting. Yeah. I love that they called him the Minivan because he's slow.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
I did not realize he was from Massachusetts.
Yeah, there's more Massachusetts players than you think.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Shout out to Pat Connaughton.
What was the giveaway there for you to get that one?
For some reason, vaguely the Minivan, I kind of remember that.
Okay.
I don't know. I feel like I heard that possibly. And then when you said Utah, I was sure.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
I'll tell you what, I was going between either Deadman or him.
Got it.
And then when you said Utah, I was like, okay, it's
Yeah.
Yang. Okay.
All right. Next one. This is coming out of Dallas, Phoenix.
Okay.
The French Prince.
Oh. Ntilikina.
Okay. All right. I didn't know if you were going to get that.
Frankie Smokes. Come on.
Yeah. So the only reason why I thought that one might throw you off is because he was actually born in Belgium. But he played for the French national team. He is a French descent. All right. Wow. You got that one right out of the gate.
Oh, I love Ntilikina.
All right. This last one, you might get it. You might not. We'll see. The mayor of Milwaukee. This is a power forward for Milwaukee. 24 minutes off the bench, playing on his 4th team in the NBA. He's a 7-year player drafted in the 1st round and 22nd overall. And this player says that he gets ready for games by picturing the opposing team's players slapping his mother.
Oh, come on. I know this one. Too easy. Bobby Portis.
Yeah.
Come on.
The mayor of Milwaukee.
I think about that every single time I watch him play basketball, that he thinks about the other person slapping his mother.
Was that the giveaway?
That's the giveaway.
Okay, so
for me, like
one,
that I will never forget ever. And it came right. I remember that fact had come out, I believe, right before he had the incident with Mirotic where he punched him in the face.
Yeah.
There was a lot of Bobby Portis news at the time coming out of Chicago. So
It's a great memory. I'm glad that
yeah.
you got that. Wow, you were that was good. That was solid. Before the
I love my role players.
Before
Come
the
on.
mom slap. Before the mom slap thing there. Did you have any idea who it was?
No, I
I
didn't.
shouldn't have given you that hint.
Yeah, you gave me the biggest
I didn't know
hint.
if you would know that because I laughed so hard when I saw that. And I had forgotten about it. And then as I was like researching, I read that and laughed to myself. And I didn't think that you were going to have that little nugget in your head.
Oh, I got that nugget in my head. No question. Wait, so Bobby Portis is from Milwaukee? Is that...
No, he's not. He's from Little Rock, Arkansas.
Okay, yeah, I was a little confused there.
He got the name after the finals last year.
Okay, got it.
Yeah,
Yes.
because he was so good for them in the finals. That city has absolutely embraced and fallen in love with Bobby Portis.
I love the Bobby chants.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
He might be just under Giannis in terms of city love.
Oh no,
How much
honestly,
they love- yeah.
I think he is the second most popular player.
Yeah,
out there.
absolutely. Yeah, okay, wow. Great job.
Thank
I'm
you.
impressed. I got to say, I'm impressed. All right, well, you know what we got to do now? We got to go to the Casino of Clayton in this week's Bet Brains.
Ooh, it's exciting. All right, let's talk about last week's bets.
We don't have to.
Let's go through them. let's
Fine.
just see. Okay. So last week I had Saturday game 3, Celtics at Bucks. You had a choice here. You could have either chosen Grayson Allen and Pat Connaughton or Peyton Pritchard and Derek White to make more 3-pointers.
Mm-hmm.
You went with your Celtics. You went with Derek White and Peyton Pritchard, who went 2 of 6 from 3. Not great.
Yeah.
Grayson Allen doesn't make a 3. Looks good. Nope. Pat Connaughton goes 3 of 8. He single-handedly wins the bet for me, so you lose on that one. Then we move over to Saturday game 3, Grizzlies at Warriors. You loved this bet.
Loved it.
Steph Curry over 34.5 points. You put 100 alternates dollars on it. He scored 30.
Unimpressive.
Yeah.
Unimpressive.
Yeah, unfortunate. Only 2 of 8 from deep. I think that's probably what put you in there. If you hit
Thanks,
a couple
Steph.
more threes. Yeah.
Thanks, Steph.
Yeah, learn to shoot. And then, of course.
Greatest shooter, my ass.
Yeah. Come on, Steph.
Despicable.
All right. And then Sunday, game 4, Heat and the 76ers. I had Tobias Harris outscoring and out-rebounding Mr. James Harden. You liked this bet as well. You put 100 alternates dollars on it. Nah, I didn't really get close. This was actually a really good James Harden game. He goes for 31 and 7. Tobias goes for 13 and 3.
Yeah. I just got to say, I'm looking into my camera for people that are just listening to the show. It's a message to James Harden. Fuck you, dude. You have your best game of the playoffs when I've got money on it. Like, come on. Ugh. You're worse than Steph. You are worse than Steph.
Yeah, these superstars are just
and
spoiled.
And then just completely shits the bed in the next game when I've got no money on it. Thanks, James. Really appreciate it.
Unbelievable.
Hope that contract works out well for you this summer. All right, what are the bets this weekend?
Okay, we got 3 fresh bets.
I
We're
got to make some
starting
money
over
here.
for you.
Yeah.
You're going to win it all back this time. All right. First game, I got Phoenix at Dallas on Thursday tonight. Dorian Finney-Smith, Davis Bertans, and Maxi Kleber combined for over 10.5 3-pointers made. I got this at plus 300 odds.
Yeah.
What do you think about it?
I like this bet. I like this a lot. We talked about it in Headliners. They need to get the other guys involved a little bit more. These role players need to step up.
They've been good at home.
I think Dorian Finney-Smith is going to get the touches that I'm asking for. Maxi Kleber, we'll see. He's been on and off in this series, so he's kind of a wild card there. And I think Davis Bertans is heating up. I think the Bertanaissance is happening here. Old 9.5 fingers is going to pull this one over the edge for me. Put 75 on it.
All right, I love it. All right, next we got Boston at Milwaukee on Friday. This was a discrepancy that bothered you, so I'm
To the core.
Yeah, so I am preying upon that a little bit. I got the Celtics making more free throws than the Bucks at plus 275 odds. What do you think?
Okay, yeah. I think that they are going to look at the box score of their last game, realize how bad they were at getting to the line, and play a lot more aggressive. I think that they are going to try to get into the paint a lot more. Look, I saw a stat today. I'm trying to remember who put it out. I wish I could give him credit for it. Oh, Mo DeKeel. The great, love Mo DeKeel. He put it up. Basically, as the series is going on, Boston is scoring more and more points in the paint, showing that Milwaukee is respecting their shooters a lot more out on the perimeter. And I think they're going to try to take advantage of that. I think that the fact that they're scoring more there is them seeing it. And I think that we're going to see them get really aggressive around the rim and get to the line. Put $50 on this one.
Okay. Yeah. Little scratch on it.
Yeah.
Last one here. I got Memphis at Golden State on Friday. I got the over at 17.5 combined steals plus 350 odds. There's been a lot of steals in these games if you look back at the box scores.
Yeah, there has. I think there's only been one game, right, that has been under 17. So this one's interesting, but kind of like what we said earlier at the end of Headliners, I think we're going to see a very locked-in Warriors at home. They are one of the highest turnover teams in the NBA.
Always have been.
Yeah, which is to be expected with the pass offense that they have. I think they're going to take care of business. I think that they are going to lock in offensively. A lot of it, for me, really comes down to whether or not Ja is available.
He's not available. I think that's pretty much
he's officially out.
I believe so.
Okay, all right. Well,
and look, Memphis without Ja at times this season, and showed the other night like they're a little more of a defensive team.
Yeah,
but I hear you.
I just think they're going to be at home for the Warriors. I don't love it. I'm only going to put $20 on this bet.
Okay.
Not very confident.
Just enough to wet your beak.
Sure, why not?
All right.
Well, we'll check back next week to see how I did on these, see if I can win some of my money back. I appreciate you setting those lines for the weekend.
Love doing it.
It just gives me extra anxiety watching these games, so I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you all for joining us today. We appreciate all the support. Remember to go ahead and subscribe, share it with all of your friends. I'm going to leave you with this song at the end here. The song is called "The Gift of Life" by Contravene, one of my all-time favorite bands out of Phoenix, actually. So we got an Arizona band in here. Off of their 2002, which wouldn't make any sense. Off their 2002, A Call to Action LP. This record changed my life for a lot of reasons, but it's one of my all-time favorites. It's on Tribal War Records, and I picked this song because outside of basketball, there's a lot going on in this country, in the world right now. Laws are being passed. Laws are being stopped. And it's a pretty horrific time right now for American politics. And this song is just a reminder that the people in power will never, ever care about you. They will never care about us. They only care about the bottom line, profit, moving production forward. That's the only thing that they care about. It's such a fucked up time right now. I've got a really tough time following it all. And this song is a reminder that these people, these lawmakers, they only care about human life until you're born. Because at that point, you're another number. You're another piece of production in the factory. You're another consumer, and that's it. That's all that they are concerned about. And I am tired of seeing it happen. So this song is just a reminder of that. I hate to end it on such a bummer note like that, but it's something that I've got to get off my chest that I feel like needs to be said. I'm sure I'm preaching to the choir to everybody here, but we really do appreciate you all. We hope that you're doing well right now. Remember to be kind to yourselves, be kind to each other, uplift each other. We are a community. We will help all of us together get through this. And we hope that you have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Currently, over 6 billion people inhabit the planet Earth. With every hour, more than 10,000 people will be born. This should be celebration! To break the tension of control! From the good young and parents! Having us
Everybody, 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 everybody,